Welcome back, guys, to another Clash Royale video, and today we're taking a look at the Knight card, who received a 10% health buff in the recent update. Now, the Knight is one of the most elixir efficient tanks in this game, costing only 3 elixir, but having a decent chunk of health on him, and because of that, he's a great counter to stuff like the Valkyrie and the Dark Prince, also giving you an elixir advantage in the process. And also, in my opinion, the Knight is one of the best counters to the Miner right now, because if you use the Valkyrie or the Barbarians, you're losing the elixir trade in the process. If you use Goblins, a lot of people have the Zap spell ready to take him out. So in my opinion, the Knight is one of the best counters to the Miner right now. Now, here is the deck that I'm going to be using in today's video. It is a Hog Rider deck, but all of these cards are available from Arena 5, so it should be a decent strategy from Arena 5 on. Now, one thing I do want to say about this deck here is it doesn't have the greatest air defense in it, and that's because right now I'm not facing a ton of people that are using air troops like the Balloon or the Baby Dragon. But if you are facing a ton of people right now using those cards, you might want to throw in a Musketeer to help improve your air defense. And that's something you guys have to do, is depending on what kind of decks you're facing at that moment, you might have to make some slight changes to your deck. So I would suggest throwing in the Musketeer instead of the Barbarians or the Fire Spirits or the Knight card if you're facing a lot of people using air decks right now. But I've been doing fairly well with this deck in the 2300 trophy range as a level 7. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some replays here. So here we are, guys, with the first replay, facing a level 8 inside the Royal Arena. And right at the start here, both of us are going to wait and start building up that elixir and wait till we get to 10 before we make our first moves. He's going to go ahead and drop down some Spear Goblins on the left-hand lane, and I'm going to try and do a quick push on the right-hand lane with a Hog Rider as well as some Spirits. Now watch this, guys. He drops the Valkyrie first to soak up all that Fire Spirit damage, and then he drops down his Barbarians, which honestly is a really smart decision on his part. But watch this, we're going to go ahead and use that Fireball. We managed to also hit the Dark Prince as well, taking off his shield. And right here, we're going to go ahead and use the cannon to try and distract those troops, and as well as tank the Dark Prince damage. But unfortunately, his Barbarians are level 8, and as a result, the Dark Prince will reach my tower and get one hit off, bringing it all the way down to 1800 health. But so far, in that opening exchange, things went pretty well. His tower is all the way down to 1400 health, and right here, we're going to start doing a split push with the Barbarians. Now, the Knight card, guys, it's more of a defensive card, in my opinion, than an offensive card. Although there are some kind of pushes you can do with the Knight, like a Knight Musketeer combo, for example. But right here, we're going to go in with a Hog Rider with some Barbarians as well as some Fire Spirits and take a look at how much damage we do to this tower. And as you can see, I am sitting on my Fireball right here, and I was kind of thinking about throwing it at that tower to finish it off as well as damage those Barbarians. But sometimes when you drop a spell, there's a little bit of a delay from when you drop it to when it actually lands. And I didn't want to miss some of the Barbarians, so I played it safe and waited for the Barbs to cross the bridge. And right here, he's coming in once again with that Dark Prince. Gonna go ahead and use the Knight here to distract that Dark Prince and get a 1 elixir advantage from it. Now, the tower on the left-hand side is down to 34 health. I could use the Zap spell to finish it off, but I actually decided to use the Hog Rider to see if he would spend any elixir defending the push. And as a result, he does use the Valkyrie on the left-hand lane, which honestly I was okay with, because that means he's splitting his investment with the elixir on both lanes. Now, if I would have used the Zap spell, I would have killed that tower on the left-hand side, but he wouldn't have spent any elixir on that left-hand lane. But watch this, guys. I make a huge mistake. I used the Fireball there on the right-hand tower when I knew he had the Barbarians in his deck. So huge mistake there. So right here, I'm trying desperately to defend against this push. And watch this, guys. The Dark Prince is about to reach my tower, but I'm going to go ahead and use the Fire Spirits right here to distract it, allowing my tower some time to take it out. Now right here, we do have a 1 crown lead so far, so all I really have to do is focus on defending for these next 30 seconds or so. I'm going to send in a Hog Rider right in the middle there just to put on some offensive pressure and force him to play defensively instead of trying to take out my tower. And right here, guys, watch what I'm going to do right here. I'm going to use the cannon in the middle there, and then use the Knight all the way on the right-hand side to distract all of his troops and tank long enough, allowing my cannon as well as my tower to finish them off. And then I'm going to use the Barbarians to distract for a couple more seconds, and that will give me the 1 crown victory. Let's go ahead to the next replay here. So here we are, guys, with the next replay, facing another level 7 in the Royal Arena. Now, I was honestly surprised in this battle to see another level 7 because pretty much all I face right now are level 8s and level 9s. But he's going to start out with the Elixir Collector in the back left corner there. And I don't really have the greatest pushing hand to start. So I'm just going to do a slow push with the Knight in the back corner there and see what he plays next. He's going to go ahead and drop down a Musketeer in the back there. And I'm going to do a split push with the Barbarians. Some of the Barbs are going to go on the left-hand lane and some of them are going to go to the right supporting that Knight. And watch this, guys. He's going to go ahead and use the Valkyrie to counter my entire push on the right-hand lane. And on the left-hand lane, he's going to use the Fire Spirits to take out my Barbarians. So really great defense by him. And right here, we don't really have anything to answer this Musketeer. So he drops some Fire Spirits as well as some Goblins to take her out. And then right now, he's dropping down the Giant way in the back behind his base. I'm going to start getting set up for a defense here with that cannon. And then I'm going to use the Knight way behind my tower because the Knight has a fairly slow walk speed. And I want him to meet the Giant on my zone instead of meeting him over the bridge. Now take a look at this, guys. He drops the Musketeer here. I'm going to use the Barbarians behind that Giant, and half the Barbs are going to go on to attack that Musketeer, and then half of them are going to support the Royal Giant, or sorry, take out the Giant. And now watch this split push we got going on here. He drops the Valkyrie to take out my push on the right-hand side, and then he drops the Barbarians on the left-hand lane to take out my Hog Rider, but I do have the Fire Spirits as well as the Zap combo to take him out, and as a result, I do some pretty crazy damage to that tower, bringing it all the way down to 1100 health. So things are looking really good so far, guys. And now right here, he's going to go ahead and drop down another Elixir Pump right in the middle of his base this time. And because his pump is only level 4, I'm going to go ahead and use the Fireball on it, damage that tower, as well as damage the Elixir Pump, because I know it did get hit with a health nerf in the recent update, and as a result, the Fireball will do some decent damage to that pump. And right here, he's got a pretty strong push going on with some Goblins, a Musketeer, as well as a Giant. I'm going to use the Barbarians in the back to take out all the support troops, but the Valkyrie does take out my Barbs. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and use the Knight to distract that Valkyrie, and unfortunately, the Goblins do run up and get themselves killed. And take a look at this, guys. Giant almost reaches my towers, but I do drop the cannon in time to distract it. But the Giant has a ton of health, guys, and as a result, he will kill the cannon and then go on to do some damage to my tower. And right here, we're going to use the Knight to take out that Musketeer and then go on to distract that Valkyrie even further. It's a really great use of the Knight card right there, guys. Now there's 20 seconds left in this battle. I do have a 1 crown lead, so all I have to do is focus on defending for these next 15 seconds or so. I'm going to use the Barbarians to counter that Giant, and then use the Zap spell to take out those Spear Goblins. And with 9 seconds left, guys, it's looking really unlikely that he will get this tower, so I will get the 1 crown victory. Now let's go ahead to one final replay here. So here we are, guys, with the final replay, facing another level 8 here, and this guy has some fairly high level cards, including level 9 Barbarians versus my level 7 Barbarians, so pretty big level difference there. But right at the start, we're going to both wait till we get to 10 Elixir before we make the first move. He drops his cannon down right in the middle of his base here, and I'm going to do a split push with the Barbarians, because that's really my only option with the starting hand that I had. And watch this, guys. He's going to go ahead and use the Spear Goblin Hut in the back right corner, sorry. I'm going to do a pig push technique with that Hog Rider and some Goblins on the left-hand lane. And the Hog Rider will actually reach that tower. And then I'm going to use the Zap spell to take out those Spear Goblins and allow the Fire Spirits to reach that tower and do even more damage. So far, pretty good opening exchange. He hasn't done really any damage to my tower here. His tower is all the way down to 1500 health. He's going to try and use that Elixir Collector to protect his tower. So I'm just going to sit back here and start building up some Elixir. And once I reach 10 Elixir, I'm going to go ahead and do another split push with those Barbarians. So down go the Barbarians. And take a look at this, guys. He's going to try and go in with that level 8 Royal Giant. I dropped the cannon a little bit too late, and as a result, I have to use the Knight to push back that Royal Giant and force him to retarget to my cannon, saving me a couple hundred health on my tower. So pretty good move there with the Knight. Now take a look at this, guys. He's got 2 Spear Goblin Huts in the back right corner. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Fireball to damage them, damage the tower, as well as take out a bunch of Spear Goblins. So things are still looking pretty good for us so far. He's trying to go in with a couple of Spear Goblins here. I'm going to use the Stab Goblins to prevent any chip damage on my tower. Now he does have the Elixir lead at this point, guys. He's sitting on 10 Elixir. I have 8 or so. So he's up about 2. So things really are looking good in that department. But right here, we're going to make another push with that Hog Rider. And watch this, guys. He drops down the Barbarians. Now, normally the Fire Spirit Zap combo kills a pack of barbarians, but unfortunately he does have that level advantage, and as a result it won't actually kill the barbs. And right here, he's going to go in once again with that Royal Giant. I'm going to use the cannon as well as some goblins to defend. He does get some damage done to my tower though. And watch this, guys. Knight goes down to distract those spear goblins, doing one more push on the left-hand lane with that Hog Rider. Once again, the Fire Spirit Zap combo not killing those barbarians, and as a result, I don't do too much damage to that tower. But that's just kind of the way it is when you're facing higher level opponents. So right here, he's going in once again with that Royal Giant. I'm going to use the cannon, some goblins, and that Knight, sorry, to take out that Royal Giant. And once again, being super aggressive with that Hog Rider on the left-hand lane. And the Fire Spirits as well as the Hog Rider do kill that cannon pretty quickly, and the Hog Rider will reach that tower, giving me the 1 crown lead so far. And now right here, there's 10 seconds left. I'm going to go ahead and use the Fireball to take out those barbarians, and then I'm going to use the cannon to distract that Royal Giant for a couple seconds, because that's all I need to secure the 1 crown victory. Anyways guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.